fish. I see batfish.
We're recording.
Okay. Okay, so Christian and I are going to do a series of videos kind of documenting our trip to Panama because when we were trying to research what Panama was like and what to expect, we had a really hard time coming up with information that didn't conflict with other information, and one site would say something and another site would say another, and it was just really confusing. And so we kind of came in feeling like we thought we knew what to expect, but then I don't know. Anyway, so we thought we would put together a series of videos each day about what we've actually seen and experienced, and hope that might help some other people out there that are thinking about coming here and be able to prepare a little bit better. So, but first impressions. Okay, so starting with the descent, because I saw something really cool out my window that I hadn't seen before. It was clouds that it looked like newly fallen snow, just flat and smooth with like kind of angular edges on it, like snow, how it just shapes, and it was just completely smooth. It was amazing. I've never seen clouds like that. I thought that was neat. Maybe that was a cloud forest that we've heard about. We'll find out. And then coming in and seeing the Panama City skyline was amazing. I mean, really beautiful as far as cities go. Lots of white buildings, and yeah, it was just a really neat view out the window. The airport itself was pretty standard on the outside and on the inside. One thing I noticed was that it was a lot more dirty and outdated than we're really used to. We're kind of spoiled in the U.S. with really nice remodeled airports and really clean, and this one not so much.
You wouldn't want to eat off the floor.
Yeah, or even sit in the chairs. They were all stained and falling apart. Customs was easy. There was no wait. We just got right in. I'm sure that's not always the case because a line did form behind us, but we got right in, and the guy that was checking us in was really polite, and yeah, there was no hassle at all. As soon as we got out of the airport, though, I immediately noticed the difference as far as, you know, just
poverty,
crumbled kind of asphalt. Yeah, very, just looked like everything had been falling apart for decades and never had been repaired. The streets, just taxis everywhere, and a lot of different kind of vehicles that I've not seen before in real life. So as soon as we left the airport, we got a taxi. Some guys were standing there with taxi signs, and we took them up on the ride, and it cost us $33 to get from the airport to our hotel in Panama City, right downtown.
Which was about a 20-minute ride for 4 of us with 8 bags. So I think in the U.S., in most cases, we would have paid that or more. But we probably could have done better.
Yeah. We've heard that the guys that are waiting there at the airport, they cost more than if you were to call a cab for yourself. So whatever. It's probably just a matter of $5-10 difference, something like that. The atmosphere on the way down to downtown area was just really lush and tropical. Lots of green, not manicured, just green foliage and grass and trees and jungle-looking stuff everywhere, with some really dilapidated old houses in between, really ghetto-looking areas kind of stuck in there, and a McDonald's. Not that we care, but there was one. And let's see here. There was a toll booth. Everyone had to hit a toll booth on the way out of the airport. Twice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or 2 of them pretty fast.
You're right. So, yeah, within about 5 minutes of leaving the airport, we started seeing skyscrapers, and so it didn't take that long to get from the airport into the city area. One of the funny things we saw were the buses, and I think it's the Red Devil
Pretty
buses.
sure.
We'll figure it out later for sure, but I think it was the Red Devil buses that we've heard about not to get on because they tend to be dangerous, but they're funny. The first one that I saw had streamers out the back, and it was really colorful. The bus itself was colorful with streamers, and then Christian saw one that had Christmas lights.
Covered in Christmas lights that were on, blinking and stuff. And the bus was 20 different colors.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right before we got into the main part of the city, we passed about a quarter mile worth of the slums. It looked
Yeah.
like something from, well, a third world country. I mean, really, I've just never seen anything like that. Like slums, really, houses falling apart. What was funny?
You can even call them houses. I don't know what they call them. Shacks might even be too much.
Yeah.
But a lot of them had satellite dishes. They look like tin roof to me, tin roofing, with satellite dishes on top. It was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. Gas, we were surprised to see, was 93 cents a gallon everywhere we looked, which we had heard that gas costs more here, so that was a pleasant surprise, I guess. As for the cab driver, yikes! That was scary. I mean, I thought for sure we weren't going to get out of there without getting into some kind of fender bender. At least. I mean, I was holding my breath the whole time. I've never experienced that kind of aggressive driving before, but
Assertive. It was extremely assertive. Just, it was what we'd heard from the guy that rides around on his motorcycle,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
How they just stick their nose out there, even if you shouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You never would. There's just tons of oncoming traffic, and these guys just drive into it.
yeah.
Ugh,
They
it's really
do a
weird.
lot of this jerking stuff, like to warn people, I'm coming in, and if you
Right.
hit me, I don't know. It was crazy, and I wouldn't have been so worried except my kids were in the very back, and I thought, okay, I can take a hit, but I don't want them to have to take a hit. So we might be renting a car from now on. We'll see. We're staying at the Saba Hotel, which is a newer hotel. Our cab driver hadn't even heard of it before, but it's nice. It's kind of reminds me of like IKEA with
Oh, yeah.
a little bit of extra oomph. I don't know. It's kind of like a glorified IKEA or something. Modern and nice, clean.
Visit.
It's a stark contrast from the neighborhood,
Me too.
right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, this to me seems super clean and bright
Yeah.
and really nice, obviously well taken care of. And the restaurant right next door is impressive, but most of the rest of the stores and buildings and stuff are just very, very poorly lit. Sidewalks are full of potholes. There's trash everywhere.
Oh, the trash situation is disgusting.
It isn't litter. I didn't see a lot of litter.
They have these, all the apartments and restaurants and things like that. They have these funny little cages that are made out of like sheet metal with like mesh
Like a
metal wire. Yeah.
I imagine it's to keep animals out.
Yeah, it's like a gate. So these places throw their bags of trash in there, but it's right there on the sidewalk, and it's open so you can smell it. And when it gets full, they just leave the gates open and let the trash spill out onto the sidewalk. And there's, you know, like soggy Kleenex and it's, stuck in the sidewalk and straws. And the trash that's not sealed up ends up spilling out. And everywhere you go, it stinks of trash, rotting trash. And it's dirty. I mean, you have to watch your step everywhere you go. And maybe we're just in a bad part of downtown. Maybe we're like in the only nice place in this part of downtown.
We shouldn't be though. The reviews that we read and we read again say that this hotel is in a nice area where you shouldn't be afraid to walk around at night. Yeah, and a lot of Panama, you generally don't want to be out at night. Definitely not alone. But it should have been. I think this is a nicer part of town. I think we saw the Marriott high rise maybe 3-4 blocks away. Anyway.
So yeah, overall, the feeling I get is just kind of filth. Downtown, it's not what I expected. I expected it to be a little bit more high class. I just heard that Panama City was with it and modern, and I'm just not seeing that. So maybe we'll see that as we get around a little bit more. We really haven't been that far. We've only been within a few blocks of our hotel so far. So lots of cars, but not a lot of pedestrians. I felt kind of alone out on the streets today as we were walking around. And I felt like we really stuck out. There aren't a lot of gringos around, and I felt like everyone was really looking at us. And maybe it wasn't just because we look American, but it could have been because we were all wearing shorts, and we that was one of the conflicting pieces of information that we have straightened out. But we had heard that Panama was very formal in their attire, and not in that they wore, tuxes and things like that, but that they were very modest, and they tend to err on the side of conservative and formal. So, but we thought, well, it's hot and it's humid. Surely people don't always wear pants and polo shirts and dresses. I mean, it's humid and it's in the 80s, so we just figured, maybe most people wear it, but surely there are people that wear shorts. No. I think I saw 3 women. I didn't see any men that were wearing shorts today, and I saw 3 women that were wearing shorts, and 2 of them were young teenagers. The other one was gringo. So I think we really stuck out because of that, and now I'm wishing that I brought more pants, maybe invested in some pants that breathe and nicer shoes, and
slowly going shopping.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we need to wrap this up.
Oh, okay. Anything else that's...
I think we can carry some stuff over in tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow about the restaurant we ate at tonight, because we're going to have breakfast there in the morning. And we better call that
a wrap.
Yes.